Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Orange County on this beautiful day here in Southern California. And we always like to start our service by affirming our mission and vision statement. Our vision for Unity of Orange County is centered in divine love. We joyfully co create a world that works for all. And our mission is to awaken, inspire, and transform lives. And we always like to take this opportunity to thank the people who are helping us this service. We have Bill as our pianist. Thank you so much. And John and Matthew streaming. And we have Waverly behind the camera. And we have Tom operating the sound. And for our daily word and meditation, we have Reverend Annie. And so we're so glad that they are all here because it's what makes this possible. Tomorrow, which is Monday, August 3rd at 4 p.m., we're having our gratitude group. And we all need gratitude during these times. So even if you haven't been to our gratitude group before, please join us on our Zoom. And the ID for that is 861 4939 2426. And then on Tuesday, the 4th at 6:30, we are having our spiritual movie night. So we're going to be talking about the movie Come Sunday, which is currently on Netflix. Now, please look at the movie before this because we're not going to be viewing the movie. We're just going to be discussing it. And the Zoom ID for that is 880-6035-5719. And you can find all of these numbers on our website in our calendar. And then next Sunday, which is August 9th, we're having our Picnic in the Park Fellowship. So please bring your own chair, your drinks, snacks, your masks, and join us at 11:30 in the same park in Laguna Hills, Santa Victoria Park. If you haven't joined us for one of these, you should try it. It's a great way to get to see people without being in danger. We're outside, we're all at our social distancing distance with masks on, but we still have a great time. And we are collecting photos of all the people who normally come to our church. And even if somebody doesn't normally come to our church but watches us on YouTube, if you email me your photo, we're putting it on the chairs. So when I'm up here, or Reverend Annie is up here, and we're looking out, we can see faces. So you just send it to minister@unityoforangecounty.org, and you can get that address on our website, and I will get it and print it out and put it on a chair. And remember that if you're buying things on Amazon, and I think everybody is buying things on Amazon nowadays, go to smileamazon.com. And when you buy there and you list Unity of Orange County as your donation, we get an amount for everything that you buy. And don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, to please subscribe to our channel and to hit the like button. And if you would like to donate, you can send a text to 77977 and put in Unity of OC Give. And so now I would like to introduce Reverend Annie.
This morning's daily word for Sunday, August 2nd, 2020 is compassion. I am kind and compassionate. Seeking to grow in compassion, I look to the example of Jesus. Gospel stories give many examples of Jesus showing compassion by demonstrating keen awareness of the need and feelings of friends and strangers alike. I remember learning that Jesus did not turn away from social outcasts. He healed them and shared meals with them. His compassion fed a multitude and restored wine to a wedding reception. Upon learning that his dear friend had died, Jesus wept. Even when his disciples deserted him as he was crucified, Jesus asked God to forgive them. As I desire to grow in compassion, I know that my kind words and even simply my loving presence provide comfort. I listen deeply with my heart as well as with my ears. And the scripture from Philippians chapter 2, verse 4, let each of you look not to your own interest, but to the interest of others. I am kind and compassionate. And so we just move right into this time of meditation, simply knowing that this is a beautiful, amazing sunshine day. This is the day that God has made, calling us forth to rejoice and be glad in it. And we do so anchoring peace with our every step and being a living blessing wherever we go. And so as we embrace this beautiful sunshine, just imagine for a moment that God has opened the windows of heaven and is pouring out blessings, so much so that you scramble to make room to receive. Can you just imagine not having room enough to receive God's goodness and God's mercy? If you can't imagine it anyway. Throw away some fears, throw away some doubts, cast out unforgiveness, and let God's love and God's compassion just hold you in its eternal embrace, wrapping you in his everlasting arms. And as we prepare for this service today, let us just know that the warmth, the radiance, the color of God's beautiful presence fills us with a deep sense of peace and joy. And for the next few moments, let's allow our bodies to soak in God's compassion, God's peace, God's love. And at the end of the silence, we simply say, thank you, God.
Thank you, Bill. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. And today we're going to conclude our series on the 12 powers. So the 12 powers are faculties that we have within us, qualities. And we've looked at faith and strength and love and wisdom and understanding and will and order and zeal, and all these things are things that we all have within us, but sometimes we have to work on bringing these qualities out. And these qualities were fully attained in the person of Jesus. And for most of us, we're working on all of these or some of these to some extent. But the last one is life. And it doesn't quite seem like it fits with the others, because if you are watching this, and if you got up this morning, you have the quality of life. You are living, breathing, you are living. But we're not talking about life, just living it and breathing it. The power, the definition for life as a power is the ability to energize, vitalize, enliven, animate, and invigorate. So it's about how do we use this gift of life that we have. So often, especially now with COVID, people are living life half-lives. They're not living life to the fullest. Jesus said that he came so that we may have life and have it more abundantly. And he wasn't talking about more stuff. He was talking about more energy, more life. And so there's this wonderful quote from 2 Corinthians. And I have to tell you, I normally don't read 2 Corinthians that much, because really what it is, it's Paul writing letters to a church and giving them advice. But this quote is just so perfect. Paul says, I can't tell you how much I long for you to enter into this wide open, spacious life. We didn't fence you in. The smallness you feel comes from within you. Your lives aren't small, but you're living them in a small way. I'm speaking as plainly as I can and with great affection. Open up your lives. Live openly and expansively. So now I want you to picture, we're going to read this again, and to me when I read this, this is God, Spirit, the universe speaking to me, saying to me, I can't tell you how much I long for you to enter into this wide open, spacious life. I didn't fence you in. The smallness that you feel comes from within you. Your lives aren't small, but you're living them in a small way. I am speaking as plainly as I can and with great affection. Open up your lives. Live openly and expansively. So we have to ask ourselves, are we living small lives? Are we living a life openly and expansively? Sometimes we feel that we need to make ourselves smaller so that other people will feel better. And so we tend to minimize our lives. And I know I'm guilty of this. There have been times in my life when I felt like if I showed how much I love life and how abundantly I lived life and how much I enjoyed life, that it might make others feel less than. And so I tend to put myself down, make myself less than, hoping that you will feel better. But God did not create us to do that. God created us with this life, with this energy. And he wants us to go out and live it abundantly. And just be all that he created us to be. And we can't do that when we're playing small. And I know people say, well, it's COVID and I can't do this and I can't do that. We have to look at how we're looking at this whole thing, this whole disease thing. Someone sent me a link to a video by Michael Beckwith, and he talked so beautifully and passionately about this. And I never thought about it like this until I heard him speak. We all wear our masks and we wash our hands and we do everything that the government and people tell us to do. But meanwhile, we are not taking care of our bodies. We're stuck at home. We have our mask on when we go out. We're washing our hands and we're sitting in front of the TV watching whatever show, all episodes, all at one time, with a big thing of potato chips and some ice cream and maybe a box of cookies and whatever other junk we can possibly find. We have McDonald's delivering those hamburgers filled with fat and all kinds of stuff, double order of fries, 3 milkshakes, and we're just not taking care of ourselves. We're not exercising. Maybe we're going for a little walk, but we're really not doing anything. But we're wearing our mask and we're washing our hands. Meanwhile, our immune system is shot to hell, but we're wearing our mask as if the mask alone can keep us from getting something. Well, I have to tell you folks that we are a living organism, and we need to make sure that that living organism is cared for and treated well, because whether you get the virus or not so much depends on how many times you're washing your hands, although I'm not telling you not to wash your hands. No matter how much you wear the mask, although I'm not telling you to wear the mask. It's how you live your life, whether you're living it in a healthy lifestyle or whether you're living it, doing all terrible things to it, but you're wearing your mask. I've seen smokers, they got their mask on and then they take their mask off to smoke their cigarette. It's like I was once in a hospital visiting someone, and there was a guy that had an oxygen mask on, and this is years ago when you could smoke in hospitals. He kept taking off his oxygen mask to smoke. What is wrong with this picture? So this is what's going on right now. So I do this exercise program called Eccentrics, and the woman who started it actually started it years ago on PBS, and she wrote a book called Aging Backwards. And the whole idea of this exercise program was aging backwards. She believed that a lot of the things that happen to us as we age could be prevented by doing certain things. So I happened to turn on, they have like a live show. And one day I happened to turn on the live show, and there she was. Now she's 71 now. And she mentioned that she was so happy to be back because she just got done with COVID. She had COVID, and she was out for 3 weeks. Now she's 71 years old, and she had COVID, which is, people are scared that they're going to get COVID over a certain age. But because she's so healthy and she lives this amazing life and she takes care of her body, she was able to get this virus and in 3 weeks be over it and leading an exercise program on TV. So a lot of how we are when it comes to getting outside things is how we take care of ourselves. Many years ago, I was a smoker. I actually started smoking when I was 12 years old. By the time I was 14, I was smoking 2 packs a day. Ate junk food. I lived on junk food. Exercise, I didn't even know what it meant. I found every excuse just to get out of gym class. And as the years went on and I was smoking more and more and drinking and eating bad food and all of that, my body was just getting weaker and weaker. And I would joke around and say that I would catch anything that was out there. If somebody across the street had a cold, I would get that cold. If my neighbor 4 doors down had a virus, I would get that virus. But the fact of the matter was that I had no immune system. So whatever came, I got. And then I stopped smoking, and I began to see that all of a sudden I began to feel better. And then I changed the way I ate. I became a vegetarian, and I started feeling even better. Well, now I'm feeling good enough that I can actually do some exercise, because before I couldn't even walk a block or walk up a flight of stairs. And then all of a sudden I started to exercise. And what amazing thing happened. All of a sudden I wasn't catching everything that was around me. All of a sudden I would go to work and everyone would have the flu, but I wouldn't get the flu. Or everyone around me would have the cold and I wouldn't get a cold. I'm not saying I never got sick, but I never got sick because somebody happened to be near me and had something. So when we take care of this body the way God created us to take care of this body, we have an immune system that works in our favor. And when we do that and we put it together with a mask and with washing our hands, we find that we can live life better. Too many people are living life in fear during this time. And when we live life in fear, what happens is we attract to us that which we fear. And the more we fear something, the more we are attracted to us. So we have to change our thinking about this. We have to realize that we can do a lot to prevent getting things. So Jesus is a very interesting character, if you want to call him that. He certainly is a wonderful teacher. And Jesus did amazing healings, and he went all over to heal. And like Annie shared, he served everybody. It didn't matter what the social class was or anything like that. And one of the things he did is he went out amongst the lepers, and he healed the lepers. Now, back in Jesus' day, leprosy was even more frightening than COVID is today. And it was such a horrendous disease. I mean, people's skin actually fell off their bodies, and they had to wrap their bodies in these bandages. And Jesus was able to go out amongst the lepers and not only heal them, but he himself never worried about the fact that he was going to get it, because he was doing what God brought him on this planet to do: healing, being compassionate, being kind, being of service. And he knew that as long as he did that, he had nothing to worry about. So you have to ask yourself, what are you doing during this pandemic? How are you living your life fullest? How are you living a life that's invigorated and full of energy? It's okay to stay in your house if that's what you need to do. But there are things that you can do in your house beside watch TV. One of our members is got Unity Pen Pals, and she's doing this really cute letters, and she sent 5 out already. You can do that. Or if you love to go on Facebook and waste all your time on Facebook, on social media, you could be sending messages, positive messages, to the people that you know on Facebook. You can be every day commenting about why someone meant something to you in your life. Instead of posting all the negative stuff on social media, you could begin to post positive things on social media. Not only is that going to change you, but it's going to change everybody who reads that. Or you can make something for a neighbor and leave it by their door. We have lots of orange trees where we live, and so we're always making fresh orange juice. And we have an elderly woman who lives across the way from us, and she loves fresh orange juice. It's not very hard to have a little jar of orange juice when we're making ours and put it by her door and knock on the door and let her know that it's there. There's so many things that we can do. We have to get out of this idea that because of this pandemic, we can't live life. Folks, life is a gift, and we have to use it. So there's a song I love. I love gospel music and Christian music as well as rock and roll and everything else. But there's a song by Matthew West, who is a Christian artist. And the song is called What If? And it's all about getting to the end of your life and having regrets. And some of the words of the song says, I want to know I got no what ifs. I'm running till the road runs out. I'm lighting it up right here, right now. No regrets. In the end, I want to know I got no what ifs. I'm going to dream a little bigger, burn a little brighter, stand a little taller, closer to your fire. Dig a little deeper, reach a little further, love a little harder. So this is what we can do instead of sitting around moaning and groaning about what we can't do. There are a lot of things we can't do, but there are a lot of things we can do. Marianne Williamson, in her book, Return to Love, says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So we can ask ourselves, how are we giving back to the world? Because that's why we're here. We've been created to be God's light and to give back into the world. So there's a movie, it's called The Life of David Gale. I wouldn't suggest you watch this during COVID, but anyway, it's a very good movie, and it's about a professor, and he is against the death penalty, and he is lecturing to his students about life. And this is a perfect question that we could be asking ourselves now during COVID.
What is it that you fantasize about? World peace? Thought so. Do you fantasize about international fame? Do you fantasize about winning a Pulitzer Prize? Or a Nobel Peace Prize? An MTV Music Award? Do you fantasize about meeting some genius hunk, ostensibly bad, but secretly simmering with noble passion and willing to sleep on the wet spot?
I'll take two.
What was that?
I'll take two.
Kimberly will take two. You get Lacan's point. Fantasies have to be unrealistic, because the moment, the second that you get what you seek, you can't want it anymore. In order to continue to exist, desire must have its objects perpetually absent. It's not the it that you want, it's the fantasy of it. So desire supports crazy fantasies.
Sorry.
This is what Pascal means when he says that we are only truly happy when daydreaming about future happiness. Or why we say the hunt is sweeter than the kill, or be careful what you wish for. Not because you'll get it, because you're doomed not to want it once you do. So the lesson of Lacan is, living by your wants will never make you happy. What it means to be fully human is to strive to live by ideas and ideals, and not to measure your life by what you've attained in terms of your desires, but those small moments of integrity, compassion, rationality, even self-sacrifice. Because in the end, the only way that we can measure the significance of our own lives is by valuing the lives of others.
So even in today's world, even though you may be stuck in your house or not be able to do anything, instead of getting into self-pity and remorse over the fact that you can't go here and you can't do there, why not think about what you can do for someone else? How you can bring a little joy and happiness into the life of someone else. How you can allow that light that God has placed in you shine to others. And you can ask yourself, just as they asked in Corinthians, are you living a life fenced in, feeling small, or are you living openly and expansively? Are you living a life of service? Are you living a life where you truly appreciate your life, COVID or not? It is time to stop using this pandemic as an excuse to live our lives small. It's a time to stop using it as an excuse for not being of service, for not enjoying things, for not living expansively, for not finding joy in any moment. So I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself this question. What would you be doing if there was no pandemic? How would you be living your life? And how can you incorporate all that wonderful, life-giving things that you used to do into whatever situation you're in now? Maybe one thing would be to look at how you treat your body. The body is God's temple. Don't just put a mask over your mouth. Try putting good food into your mouth. Don't just think, well, I can't go here or go there. Find other things that you can do, positive things that you can do. If you're watching TV, try turning on somebody that's going to enlighten you, add to your life, as opposed to diminish it. And ask yourself this: are you appreciating this gift of life? Are you praising it, blessing it, giving thanks for it? If you do, you will find life everlasting, and you will live life freely, enthusiastically, and as God intended it to be lived. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. Here at Unity, we have 5 basic principles, and we always like to go over them each week. The first one is God is all good and active in everything. That means that there's only one presence, one power in the universe, and that is God. And 2 says, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. The light of God is in all people, everybody, not just us, not just some people the way they believe, everybody. And 3, we create our experiences by what we choose to think, to believe, to feel, and the way that we act and the words that we say. And 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, we connect with God and bring out the good in my life. We have control over our life, and one way we do that is through affirmative prayer and meditation. And 5, we do and give our best by living the truth that we know. We make a difference, and we do make a difference. We make a difference in many people's lives, and you certainly make a difference for us at Unity of Orange County. And one way you make a difference is through the law of giving and receiving. Your generous gifts ensures that we will be here next week. Your generous gifts allows us, because we still have a building we have to keep, and allows us to keep bringing this message to you. So we have many ways that you can give. You can give online at our website. You can give on our app, which you can find in your app store. You can give by texting through 77977. And then Unity of OC Give. You can mail your checks in. Folks, checks work still good. If you don't like to do all that computer stuff, paperwork's fine. We appreciate your gifts every way that we get them. So please remember that. And remember that next week, it's our fellowship in the park. So please join us for that. And next week, I'm going to talk about what we don't use, we lose. So join us next Sunday. And we like to close with our prayer for protection. So if you would join me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a wonderful, blessed week. See you next week. Bye.